Welcome back, folks. This is our moment in history. Today we explore the similarities between the Trump campaign and the Goldwater 1964 run. A lot of interesting parallels here.
You can say that again, and I give you total credit for coming up with that because that's a great idea. 64 against 2016. First of all, you had an unusual candidate for the Republican Party by the name of Barry Goldwater, a senator from Arizona, but not particularly well known. But at the same time, you had a movement going in this country, a very strong right-wing movement called the John Birch Society. It's probably not well known today because it didn't last very long, named after an American officer who was killed in the Korean War and whatever. But the point is that Goldwater came out as the basic leader of the arch-conservative part of the Republican Party. You know who the Republican Party really wanted that year in 1964? Remember when Johnson had taken over from Kennedy?
Rockefeller?
Nelson Rockefeller. There was.
Do you know one thing? If you ever listened to Reagan's 1964 speech nominating Goldwater?
Yes, of course.
It's brilliant.
I know that.
It's brilliant.
No. Goldwater was for the real conservative Republicans was a fresh face and a fresh breath of air. And Nelson Rockefeller, there was always a basic schism between the eastern wing of the Republican Party, the Tom Deweys and the Nelson Rockefellers. It goes all the way back into the 20s and 30s.
And the Reagan Goldwaters from the West Coast.
Yeah, exactly. And Goldwater was a personality. He was a man that came forth against anything that was set in concrete. He was going to change things. He was an arch-conservative, and he came up with a lot of ideas that were eventually accepted as being the way to go.
And that's right in the middle of America's turn to the leftist hippie counterculture movement, right around that 64,
yes,
65.
But I put the blame on that disgusting involvement in the Vietnam. Oh, yeah, that all came, the drugging, all. You know, we lost 50,000 dead in there, and then we walked away from it because we had no business. The deal actually was cut between Khrushchev and Eisenhower that they would have this half and half thing, and then they would have an election. And the election would have brought Ho Chi Minh in because he was a nationalist hero of all Vietnamese. So the governing structure in this country didn't want to see Vietnam become a communist country.
So you had a North and a South.
Yeah. So,
kind of like in East and West Germany.
And North and South Korea. So, but the point was that we weren't going to allow that to happen, and I blame Lyndon Johnson. He wanted to go down in history as an anti-communist, so that we got involved in
So
Vietnam.
let's get back to the parallels of 64 and 2016.
Yeah.
One of them is the Romney family. You had George Romney in 64 and Mitt Romney in 2016, basically doing the exact same thing, trying to torpedo the nominee.
Yeah, George Romney was an automotive
Was he
leader.
governor of Michigan?
He was governor of Michigan, but he never really. I think it's a little exaggeration.
And he was running for president as well.
He was, but he never really
amounted
came
to
up.
much.
No. I mean, it was Rockefeller, but the point was that we were going through a basic period at that 1964. You know, you had the assassination just a little before that of Martin Luther King. You had the assassination of John Kennedy, and you had the assassination of Robert Kennedy, all in a very short period of time. We were rocking pretty badly at that particular time, so that the right wing of this country at that time looked at Goldwater was almost like a saint coming through that nobody really realized. And you're right, Reagan had a lot to do with making him famous by the way he presented him as a nominee.
And for any of our viewers, if you didn't get a chance, I mean, I wasn't even born in 1964, but if you get a chance to go watch Ronald Reagan's speech at the convention nominating Goldwater, it is brilliant. It's everything you want to hear today.
That's what put him over. There's no question that's, Reagan, even though we look back with a great amount of empathy toward the Reagan years, I don't think we gave him full credit for what he was, because he was, a second-rate movie guy. But then people forgot he was also two-term governor of California and very popular. Remember, now for a Democrat to be anything in the state of California is an impossibility.
Just like he said, freedom is one generation away from being lost. He couldn't have been more right about that.
Yeah, he was a great guy. Coming from Illinois, of course.
The Gipper.
Yeah, the Gipper.
Well, that wraps up another edition of the World Report. If you want to see the show again or just catch a segment that you missed, just go to YouTube and search Morris Beschloss. If you'd like to email a question or a video, send it to theworldreport.org, or you could send it to Maury@theworldreport.org. For Maury Beschloss, all those exceptional folks in the United States Armed Forces, especially the police and the firefighters, and all of those people that go to work each and every day to help keep us safe. I'm Scott Crowfoot, and God willing, we'll do this again.